For centuries, the world has looked at the black soul through the lens of chains, struggle, and systematic exclusion. History books have tried to define a whole race by the scars on their backs and the poverty in their streets. But while the world was busy devaluing the children of the sun, the Creator was busy weaving a masterpiece in the dark. The Creator laments the centuries of the great theft, where the dignity of the black man was stolen in the name of progress, and the beauty of the black woman was treated as a commodity. He self-reproaches no longer, for the time has come to reveal that the ones the world rejected are the very ones he has chosen to carry his fire. He is not a God who only speaks from marble cathedrals. He is the God who walked through the cotton fields, who stood in the middle of the slave ships, and who sang in the darkness of the segregated ghettos. Prepare to witness a divine reclamation that will shake the foundations of every earthly hierarchy. This is not about social justice, it is about divine identity. The ashes are starting to rise, and the Father is coming to claim his crown jewels. Article 1. The Melanin of Glory. The first secret conversation takes place in the very skin of the black soul. The Creator laments the curse of the narrative, the lie that deep pigment was a mark of inferiority or a sign of being forgotten. He watches as the world uses light and dark to create a ladder of human worth, placing the children of the sun at the bottom. The Creator self-reproaches because his own creativity has been weaponized by the arrogant to justify the unspeakable crimes of history. He feels the sting of every insult and the weight of every internalized shame that has made his children wish they were born as someone else. But now, the Spirit is singing a sacred counter-narrative. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by revealing that their color is not a shadow, but a shield of glory. He laments the bleaching of the mind, but he celebrates the return to the source, heaven, Vo'oa, as the black man looks in the mirror and sees not a descendant of a slave, but a descendant of the King. The Father is whispering, I painted you with the richness of the earth so you could absorb more of my light. You were not designed to blend in, you were designed to radiate. He is reclaiming them by shattering the whitewashed gospel that was once used to enslave them. He is proving that he is not a Western God, but the Creator of the universe who chose the soil of Africa to hide his most resilient treasures. He laments the stolen history, but he rejoices in the eternal inheritance. When a black man realizes that his skin is a temple and his heritage is divine, the chains of the mind fall faster than the chains of the body. The Creator is proving that the darkest pigment carries the brightest hope. Article 2. The Anointing of the Ashes. The second conversation occurs in the Valley of the Shadow, the historical and modern trauma of the black experience. The Creator laments the institutionalized pain, the sight of his children being hunted, marginalized, and pushed to the edges of society. He self-reproaches because the strength he gave the black soul has often been used as an excuse for the world to inflict more suffering upon them. He laments the tears of the mother who fears for her son every time he leaves the house, and the silence of the father who has been stripped of his provider role by a broken system. However, the Spirit is performing a divine alchemy. The Creator is taking the ashes of history and turning them into the anointing of the future. While the world sees brokenness, the Father sees spiritual authority. He is reclaiming the black soul by showing them that their suffering has produced a depth of worship that the comfortable can never understand. Heaven sings when a black congregation cries out in a soul-deep harmony, not out of a script, but out of a survival. God laments the cross they had to carry, but he celebrates the resurrection power that is now being released through them. He is proving that the ones who have been last on earth are being moved to the first in the Spirit. He is reclaiming them by revealing that their cry for justice is actually a cry for his kingdom. When a black soul stops asking, why did I suffer, and starts asking, how can I lead? The transformation is complete. The Creator is proving that the fire of the furnace did not consume the black soul. It only purified the gold of their destiny. The ashes are no longer a sign of death, they are the foundation of a new throne. Article 3. the melody of the unbroken. The third strategy the creator is employing to reclaim the black soul is the activation of the sovereign frequency. For centuries, the creator has lamented the world's attempts to silence the voice of his children through forced labor and systematic erasure. He self-reproaches because his own gift of music has often been reduced to mere entertainment or a tool for pacification, rather than being recognized as the weapon of the spirit that it truly is. He watched as the field hollers of the enslaved and the spirituals of the segregated were born out of a pain so deep that it reached the very foundations of the throne. But now, the spirit is singing a new song of total liberation. The creator is reclaiming the black soul by revealing that their music is not just soul, but heavenly protocol, while the world tries to commercialize the rhythm and exploit the sound. The Father is using the frequency of the unbroken to shatter spiritual strongholds. Heaven, vo'oa, in triumph every time a black voice rises in worship, not because of the technique, but because of the holy resentment toward darkness. This is the anointing of the groan, when a black believer lifts their voice in a melody born of suffering. It carries a weight of authority that the comfortable can never possess. The Creator is proving that the black soul has been chosen to be the worship leader of the nations. He laments the secularization of the sound, but he celebrates the return to the source. He is reclaiming them by turning every drumbeat into a heartbeat of the Father and every harmony into a healing balm for generational trauma. He is showing them that their song is the sound of resurrection. When the black soul sings, the earth must listen, for it is the sound of a people who have walked through the fire and did not smell like smoke. The Creator is reclaiming his glory by proving that the darkest night produces the purest praise. Article 4. The destruction of the slave mentality. The fourth strategy is the sovereign deconstruction of the slave mentality. The Creator is performing a spiritual surgery to remove the malignant tumors of internalized inferiority and dependency on the system. The Father laments seeing his children of the Son still living in psychological cages. Even though the physical chains were broken generations ago, he self-reproaches because the world's lies have convinced his children that they require the permission of the oppressor to be successful, to be beautiful, or to be worthy of love. However, the Spirit is now initiating a divine identity reconstruction. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by reminding them of the empires, the wisdom, and the royal lineages that existed long before the first slave ship crossed the Atlantic. Heaven sings as the black man stands tall, not with the pride of the flesh, but with the confidence of the Creator. God laments the systematic exclusion, but he celebrates the uprising of the free mind. He is teaching them that true freedom does not begin with a government decree, but with the realization of whose image they carry. The Creator is proving that the mind of Christ is the only thing capable of erasing the scars of the plantation. He is reclaiming them by shattering the whitewashed gospel that was once twisted to justify their bondage, and replacing it with the Lion of Judah, who stands for justice. He laments the stolen history, but he rejoices in the eternal authority. When a black woman realizes she is a queen of the kingdom, rather than a subject of the system, the transformation is irreversible. The Creator is proving that the slave mentality is a ghost that must flee in the presence of the truth. He is reclaiming his children by declaring, "You are not who history says you are. You are who I created you to be." The exodus from the mind is the final step toward the throne. Article 5. The restoration of the Black Father. The fifth strategy the Creator is employing is the sovereign restoration of the paternal anchor. For generations, the Creator has lamented the systematic harvesting of the father. He watched as the foundations of the black family were intentionally dynamited, first by the auction block that tore husbands from wives, and later by the modern slave ships of mass incarceration and economic warfare. The Creator self-reproaches because the protective shadow of the Father, which he designed to be a child's first glimpse of his own character, was forcefully erased, leaving millions of children to navigate a hostile world as spiritual orphans. He laments the stolen presents, the empty chairs at the dinner table that led to a cycle of abandonment and misplaced identity. But now, The spirit is singing a song of ancestral healing. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by turning the hearts of the fathers back to their children. He is not just restoring men, he is restoring the priest of the household. Heaven, Bo'oa, enjoy as black men, once labeled absent or dangerous by a broken system, find their true identity in the fatherhood of God. The Creator is whispering into the ears of the incarcerated, the overworked, and the discouraged. Your strength was not given to you to survive a system, but to build a dynasty. He is reclaiming them by breaking the generational curse of absence. He laments the trauma of the past, but he celebrates the return of the protector. When a black father kneels to pray with his children, the Creator sees the most powerful act of rebellion against the darkness. He is proving that the broken home was a temporary wound, not a permanent destiny. By healing the black father, the Creator is securing the next 3 generations. He is proving that the true head of the family is not the government or the streets, but the man who has been redeemed by the blood of the Lamb. The anchor is being dropped back into the soil, and the house will no longer drift. Article 6. The stolen treasures of wisdom. The 6th strategy is the supernatural reclamation of stolen wisdom. The Creator laments the intellectual lobotomy performed on the black soul, the narrative that Africa was a dark continent, devoid of history until the civilizing missions arrived. He self-reproaches because the world has forgotten that the very foundations of theology, science, and philosophy were guarded by the sons of Ham in the libraries of Alexandria and the courts of Ethiopia. He watches as his children are taught a history of poverty rather than a history of power, forcing them to look elsewhere for their intellectual worth. However, the Spirit is now initiating a divine retrieval of the mind. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by unlocking the ancient vaults. He is giving back the stolen treasures of deep spiritual insight and creative genius. Heaven sings as black scholars, artists, and thinkers stop trying to fit into a Western mold and start drinking from their own ancestral wells of wisdom. God laments the plagiarism of the nations, where black inventions and ideas were claimed by others, but he celebrates the sovereign revelation. He is reclaiming them by showing them that they were the original keepers of the sacred. He laments the miseducation of the soul, but he rejoices in the rising of the wise. He is proving that the black mind is not a consumer of culture, but an architect of truth. When a young black woman realizes that her brilliance is not an exception, but her heritage, the Creator's plan is fulfilled. He is reclaiming them by proving that the first shall be last applies to the mind as well as the spirit. By restoring their intellectual crown, the Father is proving that the black soul was never the student of the world, but its original teacher. The stolen gold is being returned to the temple. Article 7. The subversion of the ghetto. The 7th strategy the Creator is employing is the divine subversion of the geopolitical cage. For decades, the Creator has lamented the design of the ghetto, the intentional mapping of poverty, the redlining of hope, and the concentration of the black soul into concrete zones of neglect. He self-reproaches because the world has tried to turn these neighborhoods into spiritual graveyards, where the only escape offered is through the needle or the grave. He watches as his children are told that their zip code is their destiny, and that nothing good can come out of the inner city. He laments the architecture of despair that was built to suffocate the children of the sun before they could even learn to fly. But in the middle of the broken concrete and the siren-filled nights, the Spirit is performing a sovereign infiltration. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by turning the ghetto into a sacred womb. While the world sees crime and chaos, the Father sees a training ground for giants. Heaven sings as the Creator bypasses the luxury cathedrals to meet a young man on a basketball court or a single mother in a project hallway. He is proving that His glory does not need a clean street to manifest, it only needs a hungry heart. God laments the systemic injustice, but He celebrates the subversive light. He is reclaiming them by showing them that the ghetto was a trap designed by man, but it has become an altar of resilience designed by God. He laments the stolen opportunities, but he rejoices as he raises up the street prophets and the modern-day Josephs from the very places the world has discarded. When a soul realizes that their environment does not define their value, the cage becomes a catapult. The Creator is proving that He is the God of the forgotten places, and that the last who are trapped in the inner city are the first in the line of His new awakening. He is reclaiming the soil of the city, proving that the brightest diamonds are formed under the greatest pressure. Article 8. The Cry of the Mothers. The 8th strategy is the activation of the maternal shield. The Creator laments the sword of grief that has pierced the black mother for 400 years, from the mothers who watched their children sold into the unknown, to the modern-day Marys, who weep over their sons lost to street violence or the judicial system. He self-reproaches, because the world has characterized the black mother only by her strength to endure. While ignoring her right to be protected, he watches as she carries the spiritual weight of the entire race on her knees, crying out in the middle of the night for a protection that no police force can provide. However, the Spirit is now transforming these tears of grief into weapons of war. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by honoring the intercession of the matriarch. While the world tries to break the black family, the grandmother's prayer remains the unbreakable cord that pulls the prodigals back from the brink of hell. Heaven, Bo'oa, in reverence every time a black mother enters her secret closet. God laments the pain that drove her to her knees, but He celebrates the spiritual authority she has gained there. He is reclaiming them by proving that the praying mother is the most powerful gatekeeper in the kingdom. He laments the unfair burden, but he rejoices as he appoints these women as the guardians of the awakening. He is showing the world that the strength of the black mother is not her own, it is the resurrection power of the Father flowing through her. When she cries out for her son, the Creator intercepts the bullet, redirects the police car, and subverts the judge's decision. He is reclaiming the children of the Son by honoring the covenant of the mother's tears. The shield is not made of steel, it is made of a holy lament that has finally reached the ears of the King. The cry of the mothers is no longer a plea for mercy, it is a command of victory. Article 9. The reconciliation of the tribes, ending the internal strife. The 9th strategy the Creator is employing is the sovereign dissolution of the internal wound. For centuries, the Creator has lamented the strategy of division, the way the world has pitted the black soul against itself. He watched as the house Negro was pitted against the field Negro, as light-skinned was pitted against dark-skinned, and as the African diaspora was divided from the motherland. The Creator self-reproaches, because the diversity of the Son was twisted into a weapon of self-destruction, turning brothers into strangers and sisters into rivals. He laments the crab in a bucket mentality, where the struggle for survival in a broken system forced his children to pull each other down rather than lift each other up. But now, the Spirit is performing a divine convergence. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by healing the tribal fracture. He is not just reuniting people, He is restoring the global family. Heaven sings as the walls of colorism, classism, and continental pride begin to crumble under the weight of a common spirit. God laments the centuries of infighting, but He celebrates the holy alliance. He is whispering to the hearts of the children of the Son, "You are not many tribes, you are one kingdom. Your strength is not in your similarity, but in your shared inheritance." He is reclaiming them by breaking the spirit of comparison. He laments the stolen unity, but He rejoices as He raises up leaders who value the collective crown over the individual spotlight. He is proving that when the black soul is reconciled to itself, it becomes an unstoppable force in the earth. When the brother in Lagos embraces the brother in Harlem, and the sister in London weeps with the sister in Bahia, the silent covenant of blood is fulfilled. The Creator is proving that He is the God of the whole house of Ham. By ending the internal strife, He is preparing them to stand at the forefront of the global awakening, no longer as fragmented pieces, but as a united front of glory. Article 10. The Sovereign Coronation, the seat at the king's table. The 10th and final strategy is the sovereign coronation of the rejected. The Creator laments the global footstool, the way the black soul has been assigned the lowest seat at every earthly table of power, wealth, and influence. He self-reproaches no longer, for the time of the great reversal has arrived. He has watched his children be the last hired and the first fired, the most punished and the least protected, and he has lamented the theft of the seat. But now, in a sovereign act of celestial promotion, he is clearing the head of the table. Heaven burst in a thunderous roar of applause as the children of the sun are summoned to the throne room of the king. The Creator is reclaiming the black soul by placing the crown of resilience upon their heads. He is proving that the ones the world tried to bury are the ones he has decided to plant. God laments the age of the slave, but he sings over the age of the son. He is not offering them a social program, he is offering them shared sovereignty. He is reclaiming them by revealing that their blackness was always a royal robe in the spirit realm. He laments the false humility forced upon them, but he rejoices as they take their rightful place as judges of the nations. He is proving that the stone the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone of his final move on earth. When the black soul finally sits at the table of the king, it is not because of a quota, but because of a covenant. The Father is wiping away every tear of the past and saying, "You were never the tail. You were always the head. Welcome to the seat I prepared for you before the world began." The ascension is complete. The ashes have become a crown. The journey from the slave ship to the throne room is finally complete. We have witnessed a Creator who did not just watch the suffering of the black soul from a distance, but who was inside the pain, weaving a tapestry of glory that the world could never understand. The ashes of the cotton fields, the tears of the inner city, and the silence of the marginalized have been transformed into a divine anointing. The Creator has broken the mental chains, healed the broken homes, and restored the stolen wisdom of the children of the sun. He has proven that your skin is not a mark of struggle, but a garment of royalty. The world called you last, but the King has called you first. The separation of the tribes is over. The internal war is finished. Today, you do not just have a seat at the table, you have a crown at the head. The ascension is not coming, it is here. You are no longer who they said you were. You are who the Father always knew you to be. Rise, children of the sun, your King is calling you home.